Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am Kate. I am one of the co-founders of Archoral. Let's go ahead and get started. Today's topic, exploring the archive dashboard. It's your archive at a glance. It is the landing page where you can overview everything that you've got going on and navigate like crazy anywhere you want to go. All right, today's agenda, we're going to talk a little bit about why we are a profile and media-based application. Just a real quick overview of what that means and why we chose to be that way as opposed to tree-based. Then we're going to spend our whole time over in the active application and do some wandering around. We're going to look at an overview. We're just going to take a quick look at everything, and then we're going to do a little bit deeper dive. We're going to explore some family statistics, and we're going to talk about primary data. Primary data is what's going to drive your family statistics pane. So we're going to take a look at that. We're going to learn how to navigate your archive from the dashboard. And like I said, you can go anywhere within your archive from the dashboard. It's a really quick and easy navigation tool. We're going to learn how to add, edit, and explore. So the first stop is we're going to talk about why we are profile and media based. People aren't found in tree order. When you do your research, everything comes at you sporadically, not just the data and the relationships, but the entire arc of your research topic comes at you sporadically. It doesn't go roots to trunk to branches to leaves. So being profile based, we can grab any of that information, any of those relationships in the order that you find it, store it, and as you start making those connections, your trees will start clicking together. The world also consists of more than biological relationships. So we're not tree-based because it's also your fan club. It's your friends, your associates, your neighbors. It's the people that shape you and your environment. And also when you're doing research, capturing that whole fan club allows you to find other ways to navigate your research. It gives you more resources. So those people are just as important, and profiles allows us to capture all of that environment. Media, so much random information. You guys know one document or one photo can give you a plethora of information. So when you get that information from each piece of media, you can connect it to those random profiles and save it all. We'll curate it all back for you. So by accepting that random information, our indexing allows Archoral to organize and curate no matter where it comes from or when you obtain it. We're going to give you back these beautiful profiles. And that's why we chose to be profile and media based, media driven. So, shall we take a look at what that means in Archoral? So, this is your dashboard. This is where you land when you sign into your account. Everything that is in your archive can be found or displayed from this dashboard. We've got profiles and media. That's going to take you directly to your profile page and your overall media page. Up here, this cute little guy, this is your app navigation. This is where you're going to be able to travel around to the other portions of your archive, your account, and a bunch of other things in there we're going to take a look at. Family History Research is the name of the catalog that I'm currently in with a little description and the date that I created it. So now I know which family and which catalog I'm looking at. This is the summary of what is in your archive. So I have 78 profiles. This is where I throw in that public service announcement about we have created an AI family for me to do these tutorials with. It keeps my family safe and it allows me to take you on whatever journey we need to go on so that I can show you the features of Archoral. So my actual family archive is much, 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 much larger. It's got thousands of everything in it. But this one, we're going to explore our little artificial family. So I've created 78 people. I've also created 17 location profiles. We have an address book that we'll talk about in a little bit, and I've created 252 pieces of media. We are going to have company profiles soon, and we're also very excited that our GEDCOM upload and our trees are coming very quickly. These two are almost done, and we're going to give you a really great tour of what those are when they get here. Then we've got our recently updated with media and people, our family statistics, which is going to give you kind of that numerical overview, and then we've got some upcoming events. So let's see what we can do with this, shall we? All right, so let's start with this header. The profiles takes you directly to both your person and location profiles where you can navigate from there. The media tab is going to take you to your all media page. This gives you everything that's in your archive. We're going to take a look at our app navigation. So this takes you to the media, which is this page. It's going to take you to profiles back there. Collections. This one is my favorite because it takes me directly to the media page to my family collections. This is where I've organized the stuff that's inside my archive, and these can be opened up together. So this is where I come to a lot. Then we've got upload media. So this can take you directly to the upload. You don't have to go into your media and find it. It takes you directly there. Tutorials. This one, we know that we are a brand new way to archive your family history and that there's a little bit of a learning curve, and we are here to help. So we have got quite a few tutorials in here, and they are updated constantly. So feel free to go in there and check them out anytime you need a little help, or just reach out. To support, this is where you can email us directly. Just give us a little idea what we can help you with. You can even include screenshots of where you're at and give us a little something, and we will get right back to you and help you out with whatever you need. All right, and then there's the account. So you'll notice that this is Sophia's archive. She is my little artificial archivist. The Archoral ID right here is very important because we are going to release community and collaborators very soon. And when you have people that you want to collaborate with you on your Archoral archive, this ID is how we're going to identify and connect you. We're also going to have our referral program. So when you do a referral, you can do it by someone's email or you can do it by their address book. So I happen to have myself in the address book, so I was able to put myself in there, give myself a little note. You can copy your link. So this is going to send them an email that invites them to work with you, or just to be a referral that you're going to get credit for. We're going to have lots more information on our referrals when we get there. Then we've got my account. This is where you've got a direct link back to your dashboard. Your My Account is going to give you your profile, your data usage, the languages, all the devices that have logged in so you can make sure that your account stays secure, your billing, your address book. Address book is going to be really important when we get to collaborators because we have groups. And if you'll notice, I've said this, these are all the helpers for the Mueller branch. And these are all the helpers for the Oakland branch. So those guys help you do that. Let's see, what else was in the My Account? Your preferences, and again, another way to reach out to us. So that's everything that you can do just from this top header bar. And you'll notice to get back to the dashboard, I just clicked on the Archoral logo. That's always going to bring you back right here, no matter how deep in that rabbit hole you get. Okay, so that's a lot just from that one spot. So let's take a look at this. This is what is going on in your archive. So all of these are navigable. Is that a word? It's going to be our word right now. We can navigate from any of these. This is going to take me directly to my all person profiles. So I'll be able to go straight there, not to the big master tab. This is going to take me to all of my location profiles. We've got several webinars on locations. I love locations. Address book. This is where we talked about your groups and all of the people that are going to help you. You'll also notice we've got languages over here. That's a really fun one for helping you decipher things, translate things. And then media, that's going to take you straight back to your media where you can create collections and upload. So my screen is kind of flashing around a lot, but you'll notice that what we've given you is multiple ways to get to your profiles, multiple ways to get to your media, multiple ways just to navigate your archive to those main landing pages for each one of those topics. So you don't get stuck when you're anywhere doing some work. You can always get back to where you need to go. So let's look at where it says add additional. So we explored, but we can also add just from here. So we're going to do add additional to a person, and it's going to lead a person where you just enter one of any of these names, a life status, and then your privacy type is private. And off you go. You're entering people right out of the gate. So if we do location profiles, add additional, it's going to take you directly to the location. So the other thing I wanted to point out is when you're in this quick create view, you can save and create new and go back and forth between people and locations and just start filling up your profile, start creating your universe. And then all of the other information can easily be attached to those profile cards. Okay, address book, add additional. This automatically opens this window for you so that you can start adding new contacts. Now, keep in mind, our contacts and our profiles are linked. So when you add a contact, you're adding a profile card. Same in reverse. When you're adding a profile card, you're adding a contact. So if we go back here, our person profiles and our address book are always going to be the same numerical value. They're just going to give you two different ways to navigate and two different types of information to look at about those same people. And then add additional media. That is going to take you directly to the media upload page so that you can just start bringing in all of that wonderful texture that comes with the person and location profiles that you created. So those are all just kind of direct links. Okay, we can learn some more about our company profiles and learn some more about our trees. We are just a few weeks away from the trees. We're so excited. So let's look at some of the fun stuff down here. This is your recently updated section. This helps you understand where you are and what you're doing and navigate very quickly to where you were. So my archive has hundreds of thousands of pieces of media because I'm the family archivist. It also has tens of thousands of profiles. So if I just went across a piece of media that I uploaded and I wanted to look at what I just recently modified, what I recently uploaded, I can click on that piece and it's going to open it in the media indexer for me. And then I can continue right where I left off. Or maybe I had a thought in the middle of the night and I want to attach it to something I was just working on. That's a great quick navigation. So down here in the people, this gives you the people that you worked on, the most recent, either created them, edited them, viewed them. So this kind of gives you a little timeline of where you've been wandering in your archive, and it takes you directly there. I think that's pretty great. You don't have to go in and search and figure out who you left off on. Now, our family statistics. This one we're going to talk a little bit about because it is driven by what we call primary data. Primary data is the baseline for what you put against a person's profile information. We love to allow you to research to your heart's content. Research brings in misinformation, partial information, all of that. So you keep all of that. And primary data is what we use as kind of the gold source for bringing in your data. So if we're looking at life expectancy, you've got your male and your female. We had two people live to 65, one lived to 85. Keep in mind, my AI family only has 78. So my personal chart goes bananas. Okay, we're going to look at oldest and youngest. So this is my oldest, and this is my youngest person in my archive. I can filter by gender identity, and I can filter by all or living. So if I look at living, I can go, oh, William Thompson is 102 years old. That sounds a little fishy. So I'm going to click on William, and it's going to take me directly to his profile. And I'm going to see here, oh, he's not living. I found a death date for him. I don't have an exact death date, but I found one. So we'll see here, we have this P against his birth. That is primary data used for calculating all of that. But there's no P for primary against his death. I'm going to come over here to edit profile. And I say, oh, he's still living. So I have to change him to deceased. And then I'm going to put in a death, but I don't have a very good date. That's okay. We're going to say unsure. And we have before 2001 in the summer. And we're going to submit that. And we're going to save. Okay, says our profile's been updated. So look, now we have a P for primary data against his death date estimation. So now I go back here to the dashboard and I look at my oldest and youngest. He's no longer the oldest because I have corrected it. If I go to male, there we go. He wasn't 102 when he passed away. So let's go filter by living. Now our archive is starting to make a little bit more sense. It's a great way to find oops, because we all have the oops. So that's primary data for mathematics. Now let's look at common names. So common names are going to be your first name or your last name. This is great for not just seeing how many family members you have in an archive, but the breakdown of those branches, of which branches are the biggest influence in your forest, if we can. Also filtered by gender identity. So if you'll notice, I have some Muellers, some Olkins, some Thompsons, some Johnsons. They are driven by the profile that we created them in. So let's go back and we're just going to look at Caleb. He's the one I've got the most for. So when you create that profile, remember I told you only needed one of either first, middle, or last name. That is absolutely true to get you going. But what we're looking at for your common names is the first, middle, last. That's why we have it broken out into those three sections. Because if I have Caleb Anthony in one section and then I have Caleb Marcus in the same section, it's not going to tell me that I have two Calebs because they're separate entries. So we have split those apart in order to give you that first name calculation in there. Last name. So many times what we do in genealogy is we'll put a maiden name or a married name in the parentheses. That does the same thing to a calculation when you put things in parentheses. So you can put any name that you want, but if you want that common name calculation to happen, I suggest you put their given name in their profile information and then use the display name to change how you want it to view. We've got our display name and then we've got our secondary name, and what that is going to happen is the name that I most commonly refer to the person is going to be my display for the cards, but it's not going to mess with his profile. And that's going to make sure that our common names stays correct in the flow. So some of you are thinking the display in the secondary. I know, but look at what happened. The display in the secondary means that it works that way across your entire archive. It doesn't mess with your calculations. Okay, last section, upcoming events. This one I'm going to apologize for because it means you have no excuse for forgetting to send that birthday card. It's going to tell you this week, this is what's happening this week. Little Elijah is having a birthday. But if I want to look at the entire month, it's going to give me birthdays, anniversaries, and death dates. So this is what's happening the month of September. But if you're going to send out those birthday cards and those well wishes, you may need to look ahead. So you can go through and look at what's happening any month in your archive and see what's going on. And then you can also, again, navigate from your dashboard. So I hope that you guys ingested all of that. That's a whole lot of stuff. But the point is, it doesn't matter where you are in your archive. You can always come home and you can always pick up where you left off. That is the key point of the dashboard. So no matter where you're heading, anywhere in here, you can always come home. So let's see what we just took a look at. There was a lot of information that I just gave you. And the key takeaways that I'd love for you to have is that the dashboard is the summary of your data. Have a competition with your family member and say, well, I've made 388 profiles just today. It's a great way to just see the success of how many people and how much of your environment that you're capturing. We talked about how primary data drives your family statistics. You can keep all of the information that you find while you're doing your research. And as long as you keep your primary data, that little blue P in there, that's going to calculate your common names and your dates for your dashboard. We looked at upcoming events and anniversaries and how you can't miss those birthday cards. I'm just saying how you can view, add, and edit both profiles and media from your dashboard. It's a one-shot jump, and I find that very helpful. You can navigate anywhere within your archive, and you can always come home. We looked at where our tutorials are, where our address book is, and how you can always reach out to us for support. No question is too big or too small, and we love suggestions. We looked at my account and referral. That's something that I would love for you to keep an eye on. That's going to be really, really beneficial to you, your archive, and your community. Picking up where you left off is got to be my favorite part. Easy navigation, no searching. So that's our coral in a very big nutshell. And I'm grateful that you have joined us. This is our QR code. We have a 14-day free trial. Get in there, play, ask some questions, wander around, get a feel for it. We are listening at archoral.com is our email address, and we would love to hear from you. Questions, concerns, complaints, bring them all. We want to be here to help support your archiving journey. Thank you so much for joining us today, and happy archiving.